Good morning, everybody. I'm coming to you today live from my home in Christchurch. We're so grateful that the weather is, after nearly 3 weeks, really sunny and beautiful, and certainly changes the way you feel. So I have written 4 blogs. The first one, which we released today, or actually I think it was last week, on skin absorption. This is a subject that I love, and a subject that I could talk about for hours and hours. So I'm going to hopefully keep it to 10 minutes for you today. The first of these blogs is available on our website now, and every second week we'll be releasing the next ones. So I hope today I can give you a little bit of a taste of what's to come. So what will we do in the name of beauty? Cleopatra, many years ago, used lead in makeup. She used lead in makeup to attract many admirers, but she also used it as a way to ward off eye infections. In those days, eye infections were huge, and it was a way that they could, and they didn't know why, but they could control eye infections. Had Egyptians lived as long as we live today, I suspect that we would have found out that their makeup would have been fatal and would have had other consequences. In Victorian times, women were obsessed with arsenic. They would eat arsenic-laced wafers, little biscuits, which were terribly trendy, and basically these little biscuits would destroy their red blood cells, and this would lead to them having very pale skin, which was trendy. So again, whilst they got clear skin, often the consequences of this were quite fatal. For any of you who read, I think it was Victoria, I can't remember the author actually, but she wrote that book, Flowers in the Attic, where the children were slowly poisoned with arsenic. So that is basically what Victorians were doing then. Lead and vinegar were used to make makeup applications at the same time. White makeup that was worn was considered to be really respectable. And it had another feature that it covered smallpox scars and small skin imperfections. So again, they were pretty much painting their skins with this solution that ended up being absorbed, that ended up with quite nasty skin discoloration, really bad stomach ailments, rotting teeth, and things that were certainly not cosmetic and that were going to add a lot more sort of other complications to their lives. So I don't recommend putting arsenic, lead, or any of those nasty things into your cosmetics now. So what about today? What's happening with cosmetics today, and what is toxic and what isn't toxic? So I'm a red lipstick girl. Even if I'm wearing no makeup, I like to have a little bit of red lipstick. But I'm really careful about reading labels. I like lipstick that's got cochineal in it. And what is cochineal? Does anybody know what carbonic acid is that comes from cochineal? Well, cochineal is a liquid that we get from insects, more specifically from pregnant insects. And it's been around for years and years and years. And yes, of course, this color can be made in a chemical formulation in a laboratory, but it is not natural. So like different things, these all come in waves and trends. And for a long time, certainly early 1800s, cochineal was used not just for makeup applications, but also for food applications, which it's probably where you'll recognize the name from. So cochineal being used this way is now come back into fashion because, of course, it is natural. So it is a natural way of putting color into your lipstick. How can we tell whether the color in our lipstick is natural or not? So I've written down some numbers for you. On the back of your lipstick, if you have a number 75470, this suggests that it's a natural color, probably the color that's come from bugs. If the number on the back is 77891, it is probably using titanium dioxide. And there are many other ones that are not natural, but the next one, which we see quite often, is 77491, and this is an iron oxide that is quite literally coming from rust. So interesting what's in our red lipstick. What do I do for my red lipstick? And I've had lots of different things along the years that I have used. My favorite thing to do now is to use Burt's Bees lip liners. They're really good lip liners. They're natural lip liners. They have nice natural color. And then I just fill in the inside with our Au Natural Skinfood multifunctional lip balm. Now, the reason I do that is because I'm very aware that everything I put on my lips, I absorb. And that's going to affect my gut microbiome. It's going to affect what I put in my body. So again, I'm less likely to put lipstick on if I think it's going to be harmful. There are disadvantages, of course, of natural lip liners and natural lipsticks, that being mostly that they don't last as long. They don't stay in the lips for quite as long, and they don't last as long on the lips. But for now, I'm quite happy to keep reapplying my lip stick, or my lip solution a little bit more often to make sure that it is natural. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about nanotechnology. So we all know a good example is nicotine patches. We know that if we put a nicotine patch on our skin, how effective a nicotine patch will be. If this is true, and if we're getting more and more medical applications coming into our body this way, what then can we absorb through our skin? A really simple solution is to ask questions about what you're using, read the labels, and if a product is practicing nanotechnology, and I'm not saying that nanotechnology in itself is all bad, but what it is if you are using products that have got nanotechnology, perhaps they can get into your bloodstream just a little bit quicker than a non-nano product would. So at Au Natural Skinfood, we are proudly non-nano. The molecular structure of our products is really big, and so it can only work on the surface of your skin. And again, this has got some really, really positive consequences for your skin. The negatives, I guess, are that you can't get it into the deeper layers, and so the actual structure of the skin is not altered. How do we at Au Natural come? I'm sorry, I just got a question coming through. So, is that Debbie who's asked? Debbie, I've just got a question. Debbie asking, what have I used on my lips today? It's a really nice red color. Debbie, I've used the Burt's Bees red lip liner, and then I've just used our Au Natural lip balm. One little trick over the years that I've learned is, whilst a natural lip balm like this is really lovely, I do find if I use a brush to apply the lip balm that I get a better look. So where was I? Nanotechnology. So if we keep our skin well exfoliated, the skin products, the natural products that we're going to use, we're going to get much more benefit from them because it's going to be working on new skin and not trying to work extra hard to get through the dried, dead skin. So my little advice for you today, and my tip for you today, is that you exfoliate your skin at least once a week. If you've got dry, dehydrated, aging skin, our PM night cream is really good, even if you're only using it once or twice a week, to get the bee venom to stimulate your blood, to bring the blood to the surface of your skin. We do this by micro damage, micro repair, creates a little bit of a reaction on the surface of the skin, and so we're going to get that really, really lovely new skin coming to the surface so that we can absorb our products. Manuka Honey does have a large molecular structure, so it only works on the surface of the skin. But what we really, really love about it is that it is scientifically proven, scientifically validated, which is something that I really love, to make a difference topically on your skin. Medical grade Manuka Honey is used in hospitals for wound care, it's used in hospitals for burns, and we only use medical grade Manuka Honey on our products. So what will we do in the name of beauty? I guess for all of that, that's about what we're comfortable with doing, and this is not a blame game or a push game. This is just saying, hey, think about what you're putting on your skin. Think the same way that you would be about putting something into your mouth. And if we do this, then basically we're doing the best that we possibly can for our skin. I hope you'll read my new blogs that are coming through, where we delve a little bit deeper into this and talk about skin absorption and remembering and reminding us that the skin is our largest organ on our body, and actually the skin in our intestines, in our through our gut, is very similar composition, pretty much if you're sensitive on the outside, you're going to be sensitive on the inside. So remember to just be sensible in your approach. Ask those questions and choose natural where you can. I've just got a couple of other questions coming through. Yes, so a quick question that's just come through on one of the emails is sorry, I'm just trying to understand what this person has said. Absorb. Yes, so how does our collagen powder, is what she's asking, help us in terms of absorption? So the answer to that question is collagen doesn't really help the absorption of your skin, but what collagen does is as we're aging and we start to deplete our natural collagen production, what it does is it boosts the collagen that we have, makes our skin as strong as it possibly can be, and by doing this and by strengthening the barrier function from within, what happens is we can then make better use of the products that we're putting topically on our skin. These two things are quite separate topics, but what we do need to remember is that what we eat and what we put on our skin is a hand-holding approach. They should be done in thought and as a natural project, I guess, that we look at when we're looking at our overall health. I hope that answers your question, James. Any other questions that anybody would like to ask, I'm happy to answer. We have got today, for questions that are coming through, some Burt's Bee lip liners and some Au Natural lip balm so that you can try applying your lipstick at home for yourself the way I am. And I guess if you are thinking too about mascaras, that's another question that comes up quite often and something that I get quite often through. Is there one that's better than another? So I've done a little bit of research on this and you'll see this coming through on my next blog, but carbon black in mascara can add to organ system toxicity, and we need to be remembering always that what we put on our eyes can get absorbed in through our eyes. So I always like to just keep mascara or eyeliner just a little bit away from my actual eye. And another thing to remember about if you're an eyeshadow wearer is aluminum powder. And I mean, we're all tempted from time to time with the wee sparkles, but do be careful with them. Aluminum powder can be absorbed in through the skin, and again, there is good research around organ system toxicity, so be careful when you're using those types of makeups. There are plenty of new natural alternatives out there, and there are ways that we can wear makeup and do it naturally and safely. Thank you. Any other questions coming through, Tony? No? Anything else that anybody wants to ask me, please do just email me, and look out for our new blogs coming through, www.onaturalskinfood.com. We also have a complimentary consultation form there, and I'm really happy if you fill in the consultation form to answer any questions that you might have. In fact, I recommend it. This way you make sure that you're only getting what your skin needs and possibly things that you don't need. Paula's asking, do you have a moisturizer that stops foundation going into the skin? So Paula, we've worked really hard with our AM Day Serum. AM Day Serum has got a barrier function to it. Anybody of you who's using our AM Day Serum, which is our top selling product, will know that it feels quite tight. It doesn't feel like other moisturizers, and it will work during the day whilst your makeup is on. So yes, we like to think that our AM moisturizer is a really good barrier to foundation going into the skin. Again, my preference is to use sun powders. So we have a sun powder. I probably only use a liquid foundation if I'm going out or if I've got something special that I'm wanting to do. Typically, sun powders are a lot better. You don't have the same absorption, and it's going to work really well with our AM moisturizer that works like a primer and won't let the oil come through. If you're somebody with a bit of an oily skin, it's quite good to top up your powder during the day. Another question coming through. Yes, so if you are using hand sanitizers constantly and touching your face, what does that mean to your makeup, and what does that mean to your skincare, and what does that mean to your skin's microbiome? These are all very, very good questions, and there's not a lot of scientific evidence out there to show what is good and what is bad. A quick overview of that: put hand cream on after you've used your hand sanitizer. So if you're putting hand sanitizer on, put hand cream on afterwards. Think about using gloves as an alternative to hand sanitizer. I'm finding that I do a little bit of both, where I've got white cotton gloves that I use just around home, or if I'm not going anywhere terribly far. I typically save the hand sanitizer for when I'm going out into public places. We have talked a lot, and so I'll give you a little bit of a heads up and a little bit of an insider secret, if you like. We do have a natural hand sanitizer being I think to market in about 2 weeks' time. We've been working on this since before COVID. It is a natural hand sanitizer, and it won't strip your hands and strip your microbiome like a lot of other ones will. But again, the answer to that question is, my suggestion is, once you're using a hand sanitizer, even if it's natural, to use a honey-based or a natural-based hand cream that's going to give your hand a bit of a barrier. And when you do touch your face, as we all touch our face or put our hands in our mouth when we're eating, we've got something that's natural and healthy for our gut. Thank you, Paula. Yes, the foundation powder is my favorite, and I have got a little bit of a secret there for you. Being released at the end of this month is at last our foundation pouches, so you'll be able to refill your foundation powders from behind. And better than that, we have very slightly changed the formulation so that it is now completely preservative-free. Right, I think I've answered all of your questions and taken up enough of your Sunday morning. Thank you for listening to me, and I look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks' time.